And traders, welcome back to the one and only Start Swing Trade, of course, where we talk all about swing trade ideas and take a look at the course my trading action on the day. We'll get right towards the stock. It looks like we definitely have some movement today. And at first, this day was kind of one of those days where it felt like it was more risk off than risk on, but was able to make my top trade of the year just today, guys. So smash a like for that one. If you guys want to hear all about it, stick around. I'll be talking about that just coming up after we get out of some swing trade ideas. And then, of course, update you from the swing trades. Let's take a look. SPY right now making moves. It's continuing to climb a little bit higher here. And of course, this morning, what was I looking at? I was looking at the rectangle kind of consolidation that we've had lately, and you can see how this was going sideways. Were we going to break up to the upside above 2750 and really start making our way back towards the 430s? And there you have it, really starting to try to push there, get towards that 430. We'll see if we're able to hold on, of course. SPY making a little bit of a move up. Let's take a look there at the Qs, see how that's performing right now. Qs overall also getting out of the kind of rectangle sideways action, starting to push above and then holding the pullback right into that triangle, into that rectangle, and bouncing right back up. So good outlook here on the Qs, at least getting some bounce. Overall day wasn't too bad. Consumer cyclicals leading, technology, then healthcare, defensives in fourth place. What got hit today? Well, what got hit the most from the open, like I always focus, basic materials down about 0.25%, real estate down about 0.9%. And then you have some other ones just slightly into the red. Now you have energy just slightly in the red. But energy made a huge move down. We'll talk all about that coming up. Stick around, team. There's a lot to talk about today. And if you guys made a great trade, I want to hear all about it in the chat. So let me know. And of course, you guys know where you're at. Start swing trade, of course. So let's talk about some swing trade ideas today, running towards the profits in ARKK. I talked about that I wanted to keep this grinding higher and higher. But today I said, you know what? Let's not be greedy. A nice little move through that 43 yesterday. We're able to take some profits today, taking it all out through the 42 and celebrating a really nice win. Can't be mad about this. I had this below that 39, close towards the 38s. Wanted to risk off the 38s. It got close to stopping me out at one point at 38.16. Now making a nice little move there towards kind of the 40s. Got out there at 42.01. Can't be mad about that. It was about an 8%, close to 9% win, and a pretty good move there in ARKK. So took those profits. Now there is one that I have that's just slightly in the red on the day, but I'm holding on to it. It's in ARKK. Of course, we're talking about Square here. And I like the little pullback today. It doesn't look too bad. It's pulling back to the 65. Now I'll be looking for a push there towards 70. We'll see what happens here on block if it can continue climbing. I did take some profits yesterday. Kind of had to pay myself a little bit because we could see turnaround. We saw it yesterday. Will this happen? I'm not sure. But one thing is certain, we have to pay ourselves along the way. That's what I always talk about, because if you don't take profits, it's easily that the market comes and takes it for you. So let's keep getting to the action. Let's take a look at what else is making moves. I do have one stock that's having a really good day. So I know that some stocks are struggling today. You guys smash a like. Let me know what you had a good trade on in the chat. Intel is my good trade now, and I really like how I saw this one. Would I have liked to add it a little bit more? Yes, but hindsight 2020, I still have a decent position on this. Not going to be too mad. Now I'm really looking to see if Intel can really get going. Of course, we've all seen the NVIDIA AI wave. We've seen an AMD AI wave. Intel gets one mention with NVIDIA, and look at it. It's looking sexy again. We'll see what happens if this can really push through the 33s. I have this from 30.93, now up about 2.4%. And I added to the position as I came down. Could have added there below that 30, that one day that I got a nice opportunity to, especially towards that 29.69 that we were looking at, but missed that. Not going to be worried about it. Just going to go ahead and ride it up now. Looking to see if we can make our move. First move is going to be very important. Can we get back here towards this resistance? This is going to be a move there towards 33, pretty much 33. You can round this off. It's pretty much 33.15, but I'm going to round it to 33. That's going to be the first step. Let's see if that can drive higher, get through that 34, and really start making a move. This is a little bit of a longer term swing that I want to hold on to get a nice big return, especially if tech doesn't just come tumbling down. All right, let's keep going. Let's catch up with you guys in the chat. I've already talked about Intel. I've talked about Square, ARC. I still got 2 more to go over, but I want to see what you guys are talking about in the chat. So smash the like out there. It's good to see you guys. We got Raz in the house, Jeremy, Walter. If you guys want to see some more trades, and especially my top trade of the year, hit that like button. Dan, how we doing? We're back. I ran an errand after this morning's trades. Should I have held on some Carvana? Oh, that's how it goes sometimes, right? And Dan, I can't blame you, man, because to tell you the truth, this happens to me all the time when I think about it. Look at that rip in Carvana today. Big push up and nice little pattern. We were trading this on live trading. Got to give it to my man Zunaid out there. If you're watching, shout out to you, my friend. Killed it on this one. I wasn't able to nail the Carvana trade, but I was looking at another top trade today, at least I feel. And this is one that I didn't execute as good. Was watching the level 2, even talked about it on live trading, how I started seeing some bidding action really close to the bottom. And what was that stock, of course? That was Affirm, as that started making a big move up today. Not a bad move, right? This was my top watch today, Dan. And trust me, should I have held on some Affirm shares today, Dan? I'll definitely think about it. But the truth is, we can't be always trying to be, hindsight 2020. It's always going to have that feeling. And then you're always going to feel like sometimes you didn't get the whole move, and that's going to happen, traders. Let's just try to give ourselves a pat on the back when we're following our discipline, because that's what truly is going to keep us into the green, right? And that's what we're all here for. The truth is, we're going to walk into these home runs sometimes, but we're looking for base hits. We're looking to hit for average, not hit for power. And so in this case here, what could have worked on these trades is definitely taking some profits and leaving a little runner. Because if we left that little runner, maybe we could have rode this all the way with the 9 EMA and have something to tell you if the trend is changing, right? Very important. Whatever you want to use. For me, that's that light blue line you see here. Look how it came back here. It pushes above, comes right back to that light blue line, takes off to the next level, pulls back to the 9 EMA, takes off to the next level. Just as simple as this. This is how you can catch a nice rocket and be able to hold a little bit towards that run and then make the smallest shares turn into a big reward. That's what you do when you let a little bit of a runner work. And what do? You let the market work for you, not you work for the market. All right, let's keep going. We'll talk about some other trades out there. It's good to see you guys out there. Kevin Hawkhorn from Lakeland, Florida. Go Florida, people. I always love my Florida people. Can't blame it. Walter, it's good to see you guys in the chat. Soul Queen, how we doing? Tuning in. It's good to see you. And it's always good to see some new faces. Arash, I hope I said that right. What's going on, man? It's good to see you in the chat. Let's keep going after it. If you guys have a stock, let's get after it. Steve, you picked Affirm for you. Hey, I saw that you were able to nail that Affirm trade. And shout out to you. You probably got out a little earlier, like me, feeling a little bit of the FOMO. But the key here is being able to nail these style of trade. It's not a bad trade at all here for Affirm. Big move there for Affirm, Carvana. And for that being mentioned, let's keep looking at stocks like this that are in the rut, that have high short interest, that could keep going. Another one, Upstart. Look at that move. We were talking about this. Would these stocks that have the high short interest, that kind of get the rip, would they keep going? And look at them really start to take off, right? All these different names that you thought were probably going into the dumpster are now starting to turn around. And what? They're squeezing out those shorts, and you can definitely see it. All right, let's get out of Affirm and Upstart and Carvana and the growth talk. Let's go back to the swing trading life. I do have a new position to talk about that I think is very important to take a look at. It's, of course, an oil name, XOM. taking the swing trade on this one from 108.42s. And I'll talk about why that level is so important to me. You guys see a lot of action here. In a second, I'll kind of pull something else to kind of show you exactly how I was looking at XOM today. But I'm taking a little bit of an overnight swing here in XOM, and I actually added to the position as it came back to these levels and now is starting to fade away. Why am I looking at XOM, of course? Well, let's just get into it. Let's get to the nitty gritty today. Let's talk about the best trade of the year for me. And it's actually going to be a day trade, right? I have a tendency of not being too focused on gains, right? I don't come here to kind of talk about how I specifically made this amount on this trade and how it's such a great trade or something. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for more is to pat myself back when I start making the better decisions. This was a situation where I talked to us on Friday, right? I made a huge mistake on Friday on purchasing a stock when I was looking completely at another stock to get into. This is easily how you can wreck all your progress as a trader. The number one thing we cannot do is what? Is start to falter on execution, because the moment we fall off there, it's very hard to start getting that probability back into your favor. So on Friday, I made a big mistake. That cost me a lot of my profits, actually put me into the red with the prop account. We've been talking about the prop account, of course, trade the pool. And today I was able to have a big, massive trade to bounce back. Of course, this was kind of more in a different kind of stock. This was in Exxon Mobil. And it wasn't, something that I think that I was going to get this big of a trade. Not necessarily. But what I was trying to do was what? I was trying to just kind of take a big shot, right? Put myself back in a position to come back from a mistake, right? Well, the only way I was going to do this was keeping the risk tight and looking for a bigger win, right? Well, here you guys have it. I'll show you guys this. I'm going to share my screen here, and it's not necessarily about the money. Was able to bounce back about like $1,200. I'll put full screen here so you guys can see it here. The big thing for me is not necessarily this, but the actual trading action. Let's talk a little bit about that, right? So if you guys can see here on XOM, we're going to talk a little bit about this trade. So what happened here, right? Well, what happened here, I was looking for a really nice trade back to the downside on this chart, and I was able to get it here. So let's talk a little bit about that. Where did I get in on this stock and how did I trade it? Well, I started sizing in on this stock as it started seeing a breakdown around the 108.50s, right? So I started taking a little bit of sizing here and a little bit of sizing kind of coming down towards the 40s. And then when it started to pop back up here towards the 60s, I was just looking to see if we could reject and come right back down through this 108.50. This is really where I started to add the big sizing here and take the shot down towards about like $1 rewards. That's what I was thinking when I first got into XOM. Let's talk a little bit about those entries, right? So I worked my way up to about 600 shares, and you guys can see here in the 54s, the 41s, the 40s, the 37, the 36, and look at the time. You right? Look how I started it up, right? It started with the 1038s, 1039s, 1041, 1045, 1055 was the last entry and going for the big win. So this is what's able to at least get me back into the account after making a grave mistake. Now, what do I need to do? Now I need to go ahead and focus on what? Getting back into the green, right? And how we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and just pull that risk right back down, because we had to increase risk and return, because what did we do? We ended up getting into a trade with the wrong risk to return. So really, the only way to kind of equal this up was to take a couple of trades at that risk to return and then going about it. Yes, did this increase risk and increase reward? Yes, but that's not the way I want to be trading. I want to go back into a controlled manner and then start focusing on stair stepping up, not making elevator moves up and elevator moves down in our equity. So important. And here was able to nail XOM. And it didn't just go down towards the $1 profit, it kept going down. And that's really where we started making some really good profits. So I'll show you guys that move. As this went down there towards the 108.40s, it just cut through and kept going down here. I'll show you guys as this moved down. Look at this move here towards the 106. And how was I able to play a downturn like this and not run to the profits? I'll tell you how I was able to do this. I just set the stop. I set the stop and I said, you know what? If it comes back and stops me out break even, so be it. I need to let this work down to a major support and then try to take majority of it off, if not 90% of it off when it gets to that support. Then I can maybe keep the tiniest amount to see if it keeps going down on the day. But I do want to take profits. Where's that level going to be? Well, I started looking at different levels. And when I came back here around kind of like the 11:30 time to take a look at it, it was already kind of starting to reject the resistance, right? And what do I mean by that? So I'll show you guys that right here. Let me go ahead and make this nice and big here for you guys. So you guys can see here the horizontal line right here on XOM. When a stock rejects this, I'm always going to look back to see if we're going to come back to this level and really start seeing it reject the line, right? Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger here. There we go. Just a little bit bigger there. All right. So now you guys clearly see it. So when the stock pulls down, a lot of the times, what am I going to look for? Can it reject that level? It rejected that level really well here. And so that's what gave me the idea of, okay, I'll set the stop here towards kind of like the 108.50s, and I'll just let this work down here. 106.28 seems like the support. So if it can get through that level, I'll take some profit. On this first move, I wasn't even able to cover really quickly. It bounced back really quickly, and it was like at 106.40s. I let it go down one more time here, and as it came down, was able to take profits into this kind of 30 area, 106.30. Not bad. I let the littlest amount stay there, about 100 shares, and as it came back up through this 106.80s, I just took that remainder off. Could I have taken it all right there? Yeah, and it probably would have gave me an extra like 50, 60 bucks. But the truth is, I was looking for the home run. I already had a really nice kind of like double, triple. And at this point, I need to take majority of it off, bounce back in the account, and look to see if this could continue down. Really nice trade here in XOM. And I hope that you guys were able to see all of that because you were on live trading. You guys saw me enter this position. You guys saw me add to the position. And then all I did was just manage it through the next couple of hours. And boom, we're right back in this game, team. And we're going to keep ourselves focused, not to make mistakes again, and to do what? Get this account right back in the stair-stepping way, but not also staying with this huge risk to return that I had to pretty much push towards, especially on a prop account and a valuation account. You can do that. On a different account, I might have been literally screwed on that outlook. And if I start pushing that type of risk to return in, let's say, a straight cash account, that's easily how you go ahead and you just destroy it. The only ability that I had here was that it's a prop account. And so that gave me a little bit more of an ability to take a big swing. Because in normal cash accounts, once you get into this kind of rut, you start destroying yourself, man. And I just hope that you guys can learn from that, right? It's not easy to trade, and you are going to make mistakes. Let's not let one mistake break us and one trade make us. We talk about this always on here, and I hope you guys can learn from that. All right, let's get back to the action. Let's talk a little bit about some other trading action. Just wanted to cover that so that you guys can understand the ups and downs that come with trading, because that's the truth. All right, so let's take a look at XOM now. Now we're towards 108.15s. What happened there? Why did we get such a big cut down? Well, the reason we got that big cut down is if you look at WTI, we not only came from 73s today, we cut down below 70 today. We were in the 69 handles around 12 o'clock. That's why oil just took that huge dip there, and we were able to take this really nice win. So now what are we looking for? Can we recover 72? If we recover 72, I'm out of this oil trade, this oil swing now that I'm in. Now, if we don't recover that 72 and we come right back down below 70s, yeah, I'll keep taking a swing here on XOM. So I did add to the name as it came back. Of course, you guys can see that If you take a look at WTI, you had that big drop off. It came back. So I'm looking to see if we can get that next big drop off. And that's when I think we'll get that Exxon move. We'll just have to wait and find out. All right, let's keep going in the chat. How we doing out there? We'll see if we're able to keep kind of nailing these types of trades. I hope you guys enjoyed me walking through that trade and literally step by step. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. Roku sideways action all day. Let's take a look at that. In a second, we'll go through the sectors and the industries that were hot today. Roku just pulling back here. It did kind of like a little bit of an up move, but I like this hourly. As long as it can hold the hourly chart, it's not looking too bad here. That's going to be kind of closer towards your 67.60. Let's see if this can come back up, especially tomorrow. Kind of making a move through 70 wouldn't be looking too bad here on Roku. All right, let's go to consumer cyclical. And actually, now leading is technology. Wouldn't you know it? Technology leading up today. Let's go to the high cap names, see how some of those have been working. And yes, Docu does have earnings tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that, Dan. I got no problem taking a look into it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at technology and some of the bigger names, see how they traded on the day. Apple finishing up, well, not finishing, but up right now about 2.43%. We'll look to see if this can push and look at the hourly and 9 EMA hold recovery right back to the upside. Those 9 EMA pullbacks, they're looking great. Microsoft bouncing back a little bit today. Google in the red actually today. NVIDIA, big move up today, not looking too bad at all. And from the open, it's up about 11.46%. Really nice move there in NVIDIA as this moves higher. It started the day even making a down move to 375.27 and then made a huge up move about 13 points. Can't go wrong with that, right? And I'm talking about the net change. I'm sorry about percentage change. Percentage change, it's only up about 2.38. Net change is 11.25 right now. Big move there for NVIDIA and bouncing, holding the 9 EMA. Also something that I'm looking at. Will these stocks hold that level or will it just reject 388 and come right back down through that level? AMD doing the same move, trying to catch that spot around this 117.93 or 118s and come right back up. We'll see what happens with this one if it can just hang on there. Smash the like, guys, if you guys are enjoying this outlook, getting through different stocks, sectors, and industries. Let's take a look at technology. What was this industry that did the best today? Well, it was computer systems, consumers electronics, and software application names. Software application names are definitely the area that I'd keep watch to keep finding out about more AI mentions. Salesforce here, getting a little bit of a nice little bounce and support. SAP, getting a little bit of a bounce here back towards the upside. Intuit, ServiceNow getting a little bit of a jump. Shop bouncing back and finding some support today. Snow getting a little bit of a lift. These are stocks that I definitely want to keep on watching, especially stocks like Workday. These are the stocks that I feel like could still even give more AI mentions. Let's keep going. Semiconductor equipment and materials continuing higher today and continuing to push higher. Of course, you got stocks like ASML. AMAT is one of the stocks that should be watched that's really strong lately and has been really pushing. Even though no one's really talking about it, this one's held the trend and continued higher. Lam Research is another one, of course, to kind of keep watch here. This is right now on that 9 EMA pullback. Will it take the step up going towards Wednesday's high, 621s, and then maybe get back there towards May 30th high of 644? Definitely something I'd keep on my radar. Consumer cyclical up about 0.54%, and we're talking kind of your higher beta names. Gambling stocks getting a little bit of a lift today. DKNG pushing up a little bit. I've been keeping an eye on DKNG to see if it can continue just the trend that it's been on. And it's been a pretty strong trend. It's made its way all the way back from down by 11 up here towards 25 and continuing to hold on bigger pullbacks. So you can see here, resistance to the left starts acting as resistance here. Now starting to act as support. We'll look to see if the 9 EMA holds 24.86. Nice little low today towards 24.55. Definitely giving you a nice opportunity to catch a dip buy there. DraftKings, let's see if it makes its way back to 26. and back towards the highs at 26.65. So we'll see what happens there. Recent high from the 7th. All right, let's keep going. You guys smash the like out there. What are you guys taking a look at? Docu being talked about in the chat. Scrolling down here, AG's been a great play this last month. I'm seeing a lot of kind of silver was moving earlier. Let me take a look at silver and gold. I'll take a little peek in just a second. We'll look at that with basic materials. It actually ended the day down, so could have not made a move. Get a little wings in you guys. This is this type of day, guys. I've been going after it, and sometimes you need a little Red Bull help. All right, let's keep going, guys. DraftKings making a move up. Let's go to healthcare. Of course, keep your eyes on auto manufacturers. Those have continued to push. Ford did kind of hold on here at 1357. Keep your eyes on Tesla, because if Tesla can keep pushing, I think you continue to see other stocks get a lift like this. General Motors can get a lift. Ford can get a lift. And even other stocks in the auto manufacturers could get a lift off of this. And something to keep an eye out for is lithium names getting a lift on this. So I'm just keeping an eye to see if those are going to take off. PLL is another one we can watch. We traded MP earlier in the week. That's been pulling back. We'll see what happens in Tesla, as it's definitely pushing towards 234. That's been a big push up there in Tesla. And it could keep going. We'll never know when Tesla is going to turn around. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action here. Healthcare also in the green, up about 0.48. And what do I see here? I see healthcare plans continuing. It pulled back for like a day or two and now right back up. So I would definitely keep your eyes on this. This looks like a nice little pullback to kind of play a swing trade here on Alliance Health. Doesn't look too bad. Would need to hold off of kind of the 260 level, or the 460 level. But doesn't look bad at all here. Alliance Health. This is one of my favorite ones to play in the healthcare names. CVS is another way that I would be looking at this, because you really are starting to see a little bit of a prop up here through the 70s. Let's see if this can really start pushing and continue to the upside. Healthcare plans. Drug manufacturers also doing well right now. Major drug manufacturers. Lilly pushing right back to the highs. Johnson & Johnson recovering here. AbbVie had been pulling back lately, now finding some support right around the recent support and coming back here around the 134s. Let's see if this starts making its way back to 150. AZN getting a little bit of a lift today. Even Pfizer getting a little push up. So keep your eyes on drug manufacturers, as they are getting a little bit of a push. All right, let's take a look at biotech. Some of the leaders there, like Amgen, are those getting a little bit of a push? Not too bad there. Gilead getting a little bit of a bounce after recent kind of pullback below the support. Also see Regeneron getting a little bit of a push up after this is pulled back towards support, and we'll see if it makes its way back towards 800. Moderna still going down. I think this can eventually shake this support, right? I mean, there's a lot of support here around the 123s. Will it hold this and go lower, or will it hold that and then start turning around back towards 136? We'll see what happens. All right, let's catch up with the chat. What are you guys talking about? I see multiple stocks flying in there. SoFi being mentioned. Let's go. We can do a little bit of ticker time from you guys in the chat. I got no problem with that. Let's take a look at some of these tickers. All right, so SoFi being mentioned in the chat. This just continues to climb, man. It's back towards 815. Really nice move there in SoFi. And one thing that I mentioned about SoFi is what? I've talked about this because I have a feeling in a couple of weeks, or maybe a week or two, we're going to get the answer to this. And then we're always going to look back at this moment on SoFi. What is coming out in SoFi that's so important, right? Well, we already heard about their forbearance things that came through with, of course, the budget deficit that went through, right? Now we need to keep our eyes on the Supreme Court's decision. It's supposed to happen sometime this month on exactly what? On more forgiveness, student loan forgiveness. This is very important. This is what Biden's trying to establish, right? They're going to go ahead and give a ruling on whether it's legal or not. And that's going to make a big effect on SoFi. So keep watch on that for the news to hit the tape. The truth is, you never know when that news is going to hit the tape, though. So be careful out there. because the truth is it could hit overnight. It could hit in the morning. So that's why if I was short SoFi, there's no way I'd be keeping this overnight, because the truth is you never know what can happen in that situation. All right, we'll keep going. We'll take a look at some other stocks. Let's keep pushing. Do the chart for SPY. I'll definitely do the chart for SPY, David. Stick around. We'll take a look at that. Regeneron, nice day, said easy. We'll keep an eye out for that one. Lucky wants to take a look at NIO. Neo. I think we need to see this kind of reverse out of the trend right now. So if you see this on a weekly and you draw this up all the way from the top, you just pull that line down, especially that push there from the weekly on July 2nd, 21. You can see that the stock has just been in a huge downtrend. It needs to make a move back. I've drawn this way back. I drew this on, we actually created this on June 5th. Someone asked me about it. Until it gets to that level, until it gets to like 10, I'm not paying attention to it. Why? Because I just feel like it's just on this slow leak. This is how you find what? Falling knives. So unless you have a really tight level to go off of, and maybe you do, maybe you're holding towards, let's say, I don't know, maybe there's just this upsloping support line, right? And you're going to use that and you're going to hold off like 750s right now. Well, then that's a little bit of a different trade. You're being really tight with your risk to reward, and you're going to look for a bigger reward back to the upside. I would personally want to see it change the trend on the daily before I go after it. All right, guys, let's keep going here. I'm going to take a little bit of a Red Bull break here, just real quick, and we'll just keep going. You guys know where you guys are at. Start swing trade. Keep those stocks going. Wellness matters. Carvana is going to get itself a new car soon because, man, it's just pushing and pushing. Affirm, really nice day. These are the type of stocks that we were talking about on pre-market prep to keep an eye out because they could just keep squeeze higher. And I know that Dennis has been enjoying that upstart. Definitely getting the jump start. All right, team, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. What's on the downside today? Basic materials is on the downside today. And let's take a look here. What's doing well? What isn't? Well, lumber and wood production starting to get a little bit of a lift here. I don't look too much at lumber production too often, but WFG starting to line up like it's bottoming here and wants to reverse a little bit. If this can start making a move here through this kind of trend line, I'd keep a watch on it to see if we start getting some lumber to kind of get a little bit of a spike. So I'll set an alert towards 77.75 and look to see if this wants to make a move there towards 90. We'll keep watch on lumber wood production. Industrial metals and minerals. This is one that's definitely on my radar. We've had a nice little pullback action on the weekly. Will we start getting a lift? These are your stocks like Vail, your stocks like LAC, Rio. These are stocks that I would definitely keep on my radar. They have very similar charts. Look at this Rio chart. I kind of like it, right? Nice little monthly pullbacks. Has a tendency of coming up and down. Nice little range to look at. And now can we recover and really start to push back here towards 77 and 90s? This doesn't look too bad either. We'll keep watch on metals and minerals to see how those perform. Of course, can those continue making a move? Yeah, why not? Building materials, we'll see how that moves. VMC having a decent one. MLN there. Not some that I look at often. Copper getting a little bit of a bounce today. Gold and steel getting a little bit of a bounce today. Is X trying to give it to me? No, not by any means. I mean, look at this. This has just been staying down here at the bottom. It doesn't look like anything I want to jump into, at least for right now. So watch out there with steel and some of the basic materials. Real estate pulling back a little bit today, but that's not something that I focus on too often. So I'll leave that alone. Energy is definitely something that I focus on. And we're going to keep trying to tackle this down. How did the XLE do today? I could go after this today if I wanted to on a swing and kind of size into a different approach, right? I have Exxon Mobil. I could go for XLE also. We'll see what happens here. And Oxy, does Oxy continue to break down? You know, it got a recent Buffett pop again. Will this just kind of break down through the 57 and go lower? Something that tells me, you know, that we have some pretty good resistance now. And we could possibly never go back there towards that 60, at least in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to look to see if we can really kind of just break down come back through these downside action. And this is going to be the important level. I'll draw this as a red area here that will show me if we start breaking around 58, that's where I really want to see if Oxy can go lower. But is it going to make a huge move down? No. So I probably won't be shorting this, but I'll use it a little bit as a bogey for like XOM, Chevron, names like that. All right, I see a lot mentioned out there. Are you still in Square? Yes. Early on, I talked about this. I still got a piece of Square, and I'm holding on to it right now. I did take some profits yesterday, but there's no reason for me to run right now. A big thing for me also will be watching that we hold the 9 EMA, which is this light blue line, and we've held it on the recent pullback on Tuesday, then pushed right back higher. So eventually profits will look great if we can fill this gap to the left-hand side. Especially filling this gap is something that I'm looking at. That's a move potentially gets me to 72.31s. That's where I will definitely sell out probably all of it. I mean, I could keep like a tiny bit, but that tiny bit isn't going to do much for me, even if it works higher. So I'll look to take it all out if we can fill the gap. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what other ones are being talked about in the chat. I see Sentinel 1 there. If you guys have seen me go through your stocks, do me the favor. Just smash the like button. What this shows you guys is that you guys want me on for an hour versus 30 minutes. Of course, that's why I do start Swing Trade. It's a full hour-long show, but I want to stay on. And one of the things that you guys can do is just hit that like below to give them feedback. All right, let's take a look there at Sentinel 1. This is one that is bouncing back after really getting hit on their earnings. And not my favorite cybersecurity company, but it is starting to climb back. We'll see what happens on this. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike. Is this starting to get a little bit of a bounce? This looks a little bit better. It looks like it's trying to recover the 9 EMA here. Let's go to PanW. PanW recovering that 9 EMA. Recent pop on earnings. Or I don't know. This one wasn't earnings. This was when Zscaler announced their kind of numbers. And then pulling back, catching the 9, and looking for another run. I love that 9 EMA. It's been working well. Same thing happened here with Zscaler. They give a little bit of a pre-announcement. It pushes up, comes back, catches the 9 EMA today. 9 EMA around the 141.79. Now starting to push back there towards 148. And this one could push higher. CrowdStrike, very similar. We'll see what happens on names like this and see if they can catch a little bit of the bounce. Datadog. This is the stock that really kind of wrecked me last week. It's trying to catch a little bit of a bounce and make a move right back up. All right, catching up in the chat there. What's going on, team? Smash the like out there. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Do MM. Do you? Always do me, man. A little Red Bull and vodka? Nah, unfortunately, no vodka, but the tropical is pretty good. I'll tell you that much. All right, let's keep pumping along, team. What other we got? Smash the like for all the Red Bull action. I know you guys love it. Walmart with a big push. Nice catch, Wellness Matters. I'll take a look at Walmart. Big push up today. This looks like a little bit of a move into some of what? Defensive names, right? And so it looks like we're getting a little bit of a shift back into defensive names after a quick little pullback. We got to see if this is going to hold. Is this going to make a real move? So I'll draw a little bit of a trend line. We'll keep an eye on it. I even want to edit this a little bit more to look to see if we can get our move back to this 5,600 on this index. What are some stocks that we're doing well today? Confectioners bounced a little bit. Beveragers bounced a little bit. And discount stores bounce. What's doing well there? Walmart, Costco. Costco went down below that 500 and recovered like a monster. Now we'll see what happens here on the weekly as it really starts to push. Will it start just to climb? 532 is the next level that I'd be looking at. Let me see the high there. 530.05 actually. So 530. We'll see if Costco can make that run to 530. And what does this stock do? It pushes above the VWAP, pushes above the 9 EMA. Now starting to hold 9 EMA pullbacks here on the first. It goes towards 502.10, EMA at 502.45, and then just recovers. It closes the day at 512.60. Today, same thing, cuts down below the 9 EMA, 511.56. Where do we go to? We go to 510.25, and look where we're recovering. That's where I use for my momentum to look for some pullback. Coin mentioned in the chat. I'll take a look at Coin. Coin actually coming back up after horrible mentions early on. And really, I looked at certain things and certain talk of Kevin O'Leary was on an interview yesterday. If you guys were able to catch that or missed that right here on Benzinga, definitely go ahead and check it out. What did he talk about? He talked about how the charges for Binance were more intense than the charges for Coinbase. I think this is all things that we need to keep in count. And if they're going after Coinbase and Binance, will we see a huge negative effect in Bitcoin? Will these companies really take a hit? Something to keep in mind. All right, let's keep going. I like Rio. I'm a big nuclear guy, says Hammer. Oh, I didn't know that, Hammer, about you. You're a big nuclear guy? Come on, man. How did I not know that? Let's keep taking a look. Bros pop. Ooh, bros. The bros is popping. Did we get some announcements? Look at the bottoming action on this chart. I kind of like it, but I really need to see the trend change in this stock. The big thing for me on bros is that they're just not able to kind of get the comparable sales that they once were. But it looks like bros is to participate in the Four Springs Investor Conference. So it looks like I got a headline here from, of course, lovely Benzinga Pro, of course. You guys take a look at this. Dutch Bros, one of the fastest growing brands in quick service beverages, will be taking place in a fireside chat at TD Cowen's annual Future of Consumer Conference in New York City, Tuesday, June 6th, beginning at 1:10. So keep your eyes on that. And then they're also going to be, of course, at this event that they're talking about, which is the Four Springs Investors Conference. Catch that. That's also participating right now. And so we'll see what happens. Will this kind of get the lift? You guys can also, of course, just go to Dutch Bros Investors to kind of catch the action, or just check out Benzinga Pro. I'm sure we'll have that action there. I'll throw up the link there for you guys if you guys want to take a look at this. And of course, see what's happening in the investors for bros. Where are my bros out there, guys? I know you guys out there. My Dutch bros, keep it going, baby. Let's go ahead. All right, what other ones are being called out in the chat? I'll keep it going. Trailing stop being called out in the chat. What you got on a trailing stop, Walter? What are you looking at? All right, MVIS breaking out. Yeah, this doesn't look too bad. And if Microvision's going to break out, you know which one I'm going to keep a close eye on? QuantumScape. This had a nice little gap up, pulled back here towards the 9 today. Let's see if this can get going tomorrow. I'll keep this one on watch. A move back through 7 is something that I'll keep a watch on for. If that could happen, I don't want to miss it. So I'll set an alert here around the 690s to let me know if QuantumScape wants to make a move. MVIS, Microvision, can he get through 8? Keep a watch on that one. All right, what other ones are being called out? Bros has some awesome energy drink mixers. Yes, man. I miss the Dutch Bros. Honestly, when I go back to the West, I'm definitely getting some bros first thing on the ground. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. Let's take a look at the sectors that are kind of in the middle right now. Financial services in that middle right now. Today, KRE pulling back a little bit, but I think we just got to watch to see if we bounce at 42. It kind of gave it a little bit of an indecision today. Not really doing too much, but going sideways. That's not bad there. SPY overall looks like it wants to get through 430. There's a big resistance level there, though. And I'm wondering, will we just top out here? All things to keep in mind, right? I think it's very important to kind of note to that, right? That we're right around this resistance and we keep seeing it. But the only question is, will this actually hold up? This is a 431.73. Will this kind of hold up and it come right back down? All things to keep in mind. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Hammer saying that QS CEO is a genius. Yeah, I mean, the truth is that QuantumScape could really make if they could kill it in their solid state battery, I mean, it could be a really big move. And I think that that's why people believed in the QuantumScape. We just got to keep an eye out for it. At least it's not like a $3 stock or something like that. It's still holding in here at 674. All right, let's keep going. I'll see what else is being talked about in the chat. I see Path. Path being brought up in the chat. Of course, this is a Kathy favorite. Let's go to the daily chart, see how it acted today. It's catching the 9 EMA on the pullback. Big pullback yesterday after grinding up higher. Now being able to hold on here around the 9 EMA. I definitely put a line down here towards kind of the 18s and 17s. If it's able to hold that, you're not looking too bad. Right now, I would say that, yeah, you're trying to recover that 9 EMA. The 9 EMA at 1786. Went to 1768. Definitely wouldn't want to see it break 1768 from here on out and then start to recover right back up there towards 1850s. This one actually doesn't look too bad on the day, at least for today. All right, let's keep going. I'll see what else is being called out in the chat. Sandy McGrow talked good about QS. Yeah, I like Sandy too. I agree. We've actually had Sandy Monroe right here on Benzinga. Hood pushing the last couple of days. Not looking too bad there. It looks like it's trying to get back there towards 10. This one doesn't actually look too bad. In the long run, eventually Hood's going to get a little bit of an up move. I think we can also take a look at Schwab. Schwab has been going sideways, but hasn't done anything. And now I'm starting to see a little bit more volume coming in it, especially on Wednesday. So what I will do is I'll put a line here right here towards the upside. And I'm going to look to see if we can break 55.78 tomorrow. If we can break that, I want to set the alert because I want to take a swing here on the swab, of course. And my biggest thing is, should I have taken this downfall? I mean, if the regional bank concern really wasn't that bad and everything's fine in Charles Schwab, why won't it just climb right back here towards 73, right? Something to keep in mind and something that maybe we can at least look for that nice little push to see where we risk off of. Mitch, I have Apple making a break over 180, says William Reyes. I can't blame you for that outlook, man. Let's look for it. Nice little 9 EMA pullback. This has just been continuing to do what? Just climb the trend, man. And this, as long as it can kind of hold this upslope line, we're looking good. I remember we were looking at these spots right here. We were calling it out. The 1, the 2, the 3. Would we hold and take that breakout? We finally started holding the 50. And ever since then, we're just kind of trending up higher. So if you take a look at that, I would definitely kind of keep an eye out to see if it can just hold the upslope trend line. And you guys can clearly see that here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can kind of watch it. And as long as it can kind of hold this breakout spot that it did, and it's held the pullbacks. This was from March 2nd. You can see the pullback on May 4th. Then another pullback here on May 24th. Let's see if this can really start taking off here towards new all-time highs. And if Apple's making new highs, why won't there be some other ones to make that high? We'll see if it can really start pushing, get back there towards those highs. All right, let's keep going. No updated end of the day imbalances. Let me know. There's a 2.1 to the buy side. We'll see what happened there. Not massive, but definitely there. MBOT. MBOT getting a little bit of a lift. Medical instrument supply stock, of course. Will this make a move to 3? This is seeming like it's trying to move. The only thing that I would point to about MBOT is look at the volume here. This stock is trading like by appointment only, man. And that's what I would mean by appointment only. It's just, it's not trading many shares. The daily chart has maybe, what do we got? 1.1 million, 2.2, 1.1. You need another day like this where it's trading like 15 million or 193 million. The truth is, lower liquidity right now. I don't know. I don't know if this MBOT can really get moving. It could be a good one. Don't get me wrong. It definitely could be a good one, right? Look at it. It doesn't look too bad. We'll see if it's able to make that move. But it just seems to me like this is that type of stock that has a tendency of doing what? Popping and dropping like a rock. Pop, drop, 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 pop, drop. Will it change the trend this time? That's what you're betting against, essentially. Know what you're betting against. Know what you're betting for. So important, team. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else we got to mention here. There's been some really good plays in the market overall. Industrial starting to make a way up, and I think that we got to keep our eyes on a stock like the XLI. The XLI, of course, industrial ETF. Will this start to take off? Something to keep in mind is what? One trade that I closed a little bit early, took some gains, but wanted to look for a bigger move and a little bit kicking of myself is what? The airlines, of course, American Airlines back to 1530s. I still think this is an opportunity because it could come back to 20, even 25. And that's a big win for American, right? Look at the other airlines. UAL starting to come back and climbing that 42. Look at DAL starting to push here almost to 40. I was playing this one down here in this little pattern right above towards 35. Could it continue riding this one and then be up about 13%? These actually look pretty good, these airlines, and I'd keep an eye out on them. Even a stock like Love. Love has been on a huge pullback, and I didn't want to get it because I felt like it was on this pullback. But now what's happened? Monthly support around the 29s. You just did a little bit of a cut through to 28.40s. Let's see if this starts to recover and starts to make its way back. Southwest Airlines, of course, got so much bad rap for their kind of computer letdowns, right? We'll see if this can come back and start to uptrend. Look how that broke, held it, and now the volume has been starting to come back into the name. That's exactly what you want to see if you're trying to call a turnaround. We'll see what happens there on Love. All right, let's keep going. You made a handsome gain on MPW. Not a bad one there. Medical Properties Trust. This is a REIT. Why did you like Medical Properties Trust? Do you know about it, Hammer? I know nothing about REITs a lot of the times. So I'm going to stick this to kind of your outlook. Why did you go after this one? Doesn't look too bad. Definitely has made a step up. Got through this kind of resistance area, this 895 today. Got up there towards a high of 934, pulled back to 9, held pretty well. Can it take a move to 10? Yeah, maybe I could see that going. And it did get a lot of volume recently on this downturn and then really quickly back towards that 805. Better to take early gains than to be a bag holder. I agree. Better to take that. Am I behind on stream looking at MBOT now? Chris, you're right on point. If you're looking at MBOT at 354, you're probably about a minute behind. No worries. Just hit the live button. You'll be as close as we are. And you see time there. I always zoom in so where you can see time. Sometimes this is going to be a little late, like MPW right now, 355.48 with the seconds at 9:33. So you can see how much the lag is. Let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. I remember them smashing puts on it every day a few months ago. We'll see what happens. MPW, high short interest. Hey, it was cheap when I bought it. I sold the pump, bought the pullback, sold again. Hey, sell the rip, buy the dip. Sounds like a Dennis Dick move. Can't go wrong when you're doing that. All right, let's go back to the market. Let's take a look here. Defensive names like, let's say like PG. How is that doing right now? PG getting a little bit of an uplift today. And what does that show us, right? Well, that we're getting more of this rotation, going away from all the big tech names and slowly starting to go into value. Will it actually hold up? That's one thing to keep in mind, right? Heinz Kraft coming back a little bit today. Let's see how Clorox did today. Not a bad move there. A little bit of a push higher. Coke pushing a little bit, right? Will this catch a bounce? Pepsi, Costco, we already seen that. Philip Morris could make a little bit of a move up with this. Even Unilever, trying to turn around there. Mondelez coming down. Of course, candy getting a little bit cheaper. I hope so, and they need it. Altria Group. This looks like it wants to get a little bit higher. 3 highs in the same area, right around this kind of 45.42, 45.37, and 35.34. So into that 40s, into 45.50s, doesn't look too bad here on Altria. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on there. CVS is definitely one to keep on watch. Those are healthcare plan names that I will keep on watch. And I talked about these earlier. I do like ELV in that space. UNH has been making a nice little pullback, now trying to push back there towards the 500. So this is another one to kind of watch. And if you want some cheaper ones, Oscar Health is one that I've been watching. This one has pulled back big, but it's been doing what as of late? Just stair stepping its way higher. Maybe it can get a little pullback to 826. But if you're looking for a smaller name, this one doesn't look too bad. ALHC is another one in this healthcare plant that could push a little higher, that has been falling and could turn things around. You can see it here. Will it make this move here towards, let me pull this down a little bit. This is closer towards right here, closer towards that 717 and starting to push higher. All right, another one name that I do want to take a look at. Let's just go to the SPY and see the biggest moves on the day. Biggest move on the day in the S&P 500 and the SPY was Warner Brothers Discovery. And I have no idea why this is making such a big leap today and definitely pushing higher. Tesla pushing higher. ANET, that definitely got a nice little bounce. Gilead having a decent day and starting to turn things around. Adobe does not want to come back. And this was one AI name that I got right, but didn't get a piece of, and definitely kicking myself a little bit. All right, we'll see what else the names kind of continue to move. AMD not having a bad day on the day. It did pull back, catch the VWAP once, twice, 3 times. From there on, I wanted to hold that 120, start making its way back there towards that 122. Make a break for this line here. It's going to be very important if we can push back through the 124s here for AMD. All right, 1 minute, folks. That's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed me taking some wings with you, going through so many charts. I think I hit like at least 50 charts. So do me the favor, smash the like. Stay tuned like always. We always got more for you guys on Benzinga. Please give me a shout out at MoneyMitchBZ. Give me a follow. Let me know. DM me. People DM me all the time for what? Questions on stocks. Maybe setups that they're seeing that they want to take a look at. Well, you guys can always reach out to me or just my email, mitch@benzinga.com. As simple as that. I'll see you guys next time right here on Start Swing Trade. Keep battling out there, team. We'll see what happens in XOM. XOM is definitely one of my top trades of the day. We'll see what happens if this comes right back down and I'm able to make a big profits. Hit the like button. I'll see you guys next time right here on Benzinga. And don't miss me on Pre-Market Prep in the morning, 8 a.m. Like always. I'll see you next time, team. Hit the like. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. What? Let's go. Let's keep it going. We don't stop. Benzinga.